How can I make 2025 as good as a year for me as 2022? Because 2022 was a great year for me. Everything was going well, and 23 kind of just ruined everything. But 2022 was a good year, and that's probably my best year of my life. Other than like a year from my childhood or something like that. So 2022 was a great year for me. I had a job, I had friends, and I didn't necessarily have a girlfriend, but I was going for girls. And I was in school still. I was in high school still. It's really sad that I probably peaked in high school because after I graduated, everything just went downhill. Mental health was pretty good in 2022 as well, if I recall correctly. So let me break it down. So I was working at McDonald's in 2022 from December of the year before and until September that year. And it was absolutely great there, at least for most of the time. By the time I quit, it wasn't so great. But the times that it was good, it was good. I had all sorts of friends working there. It was basically our friend group working at McDonald's, and it was really cool. I was always cracking jokes and always laughing, and it was really fun time. And the work wasn't too bad. I'm not sure how I would be able to handle McDonald's work in the year 2025, because if you guys are saying oh, your best year was 2022 when you were working, why don't you get a job then? And I just feel fully incapable of working a job. My mental health is probably some of the worst it's ever been, and I'm slow as fuck. I wouldn't be a good worker either way. I'm too autistic, so I probably won't be able to take the job as seriously as others. I just feel like I'm completely incapable of working a job these days. Back then when I had a job, it was actually good. But the last few times I had a job, it was horrible, and it went horrible, and it fucking sucked. And it's really left a bad taste in my mouth for working. But it was cool. Working at McDonald's was basically just hanging out with friends with some sort of objective on your mind. I gotta cook these burgers or stuff like that. And I feel like it was a really funny time when I worked at McDonald's. And then everyone started to leave McDonald's, and then it started to fucking suck, and the managers got on my ass for no reason. I don't know. Maybe 2022 wasn't so perfect of a year. It's the year when I started smoking weed for the first time ever, and it actually felt good. Now whenever I smoke weed, I have psychosis, and it gives me anxiety. Because of that, because I smoke weed on the 30th of December, I can't drink energy drinks anymore because they just give me too much anxiety. It gives me anxiety attacks. And I feel like it's caused by the weed, because that never used to happen to me until I smoked weed. Anyways, where was I? So I had friends actually in 2022, and it's probably just because I was a senior or stuff like that, but I had friends outside of the friend group, and I felt like I could talk to anyone. Sad to say, I was probably in my prime in 2022 before everything went to shit. I'm not gonna say whether my friends were good friends back then or not. I'm just gonna say that I didn't start getting offended by them until last year. Back in 2022, I could actually take their stupid jokes and attacks. Now I just can't handle it. If anyone insults me, I just can't handle that at all. And I'm not saying I'm gonna break down crying, but it definitely hurts. I feel like my mental health was much better in 2022. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I had a bunch of good things going for me, a job and friends and a social life and stuff like that. This was right before my mental health just got completely destroyed. It's crazy to think that 2022 was 3 years ago now. I was also chasing girls, not chasing them in the street, but pursuing them. Not pursuing them in the street either. I mean talking to them, talking to them and trying to get close and stuff like that. And even though I wasn't successful at all, even though I basically got a prom date, I don't know, it wasn't very confirmed or not. but I was actually going for girls. Now I can't find any woman because I don't have a job, I don't go to school, and whatever. I know that I wasn't successful in getting any girls, but it gave me purpose. It gave me purpose in life, you know? I wasn't successful at all, but it gave me at least some sort of purpose. Is 2022 the best year of my life? Well, there wasn't really much planning done in 2022 for my future, and then my future absolutely fell apart. So it's not the perfect year, but it's definitely a highlight of my life that year. Probably the only reason why I think it's such a good year, because now that I explain it, it's kind of pretty mundane of a year, if I'm being honest. I think the only reason why I praise it so much is because it was my last year I got to enjoy, you know, being a kid or whatever. Because the second I turned 18, everything just hit the fan, and I've been miserable ever since. Though I probably didn't, I probably had my shit together that year, you know? Like, I had to graduate, I had to work, you know? Now I don't have any sort of goal like that. The only goal I have is reaching monetization on YouTube, you know? Like, that's very different than trying to graduate, you know? And years like 2022 just makes me happy to be alive, mental health wise, because I feel like that was probably like my mental health peak, you know? And ever since 2023, my mental health has been at the bottom. Just trying to progress through life in other ways, you know, like the standard way is to get a job and go to school and get an education and get a career, stuff like that. But, you know, I feel like I'd rather just go on my own path, because even throughout school, I kind of just went through with the flow. I just went with the flow. I didn't really give a shit about anything, but I still did it, like my homework or something like that. And now, I guess I took going with the flow too literally, and I'm literally just flowing through life, you know, just living. Not necessarily living it up, but I definitely am living. So, in conclusion, I feel like one of my best years was 2022 because I was at like tip-top mental health, and I had a lot of things going for me, but things have changed, you know, and all good things must come to an end. So that's it for the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a great day.